Now we are done with the levels of DMOs. Let's have here the business models of DMOs. It's basically how are they presented to the public through these agencies. So we have here the government agencies first. The GA vehicle is simple, straightforward, and completely under the control of the national or local government responsible for the destination. Most GAs or government agencies work with allocated budgets and are expected to market their destinations in consonance with municipal policy. So here it's still municipal. The level is still in municipal. Their budget is allocated, and their marketing approach should be straightforward and simple because their budget is allocated, it's limited. So it doesn't have to be broad. Sometimes it's it's just for a short term or short period of time. The approach, the marketing strategy, it's not for long term because their primary concern is their budget. So the next business model for the DMO is here, the government-funded nonprofit organizations. So it's typically more of common in the US and Canada, but less prevalent elsewhere. It says here government-funded nonprofit organizations. So can you cite some organization here in the country which is non-profit and government funded? Because most of the agencies here in the Philippines, although it's government funded, but still they have their generating income. They produce profit from their service or from their office. Okay, so it says here that these GFNPOs typically receive a share of visitor taxes collected locally by service providers such as hotels. So they are imposing hotel room taxes. Some localities also tax other services such as restaurants and car rental organizations. Excuse me. So, bukod dun sa ibinibigay na tax ng business themselves, they are also imposing taxes to specific tourism products and services, which is, for example, hotel room. So they impose taxes there. Restaurants, car rental. So bukod pa dun sa tax na binabayaran ng business na which is sometimes yearly or monthly, meron pa rin silang tax or nagpapatong pa rin sila dun sa mga tourism products and services. Which is, I think, it's not common here in the Philippines. Because with even though tax inclusive naman yung mga price natin, but yun na lang yun. Hindi na siya masyadong nagmamark up pa beyond 12% because 12% is the tax price here in the Philippines. Yung tinatawag na VAT. So it's price inclusive. If you buy like 20 pesos of your of your goods, or for example you bought water in 7-Eleven for 20 pesos, nandun na yung tax. Hindi na siya 20 pesos plus. So yun yung example here na ginagawa daw sa US and Canada. That bukod dun sa tax na binabayaran ng business monthly or yearly, they are still imposing more. So the next business model that we have here is the dual-funded nonprofit organizations. Some government-funded DMOs receive contributions and subscription fees from various local service providers in addition to funds allocated by their local governments. So, ginagawa naman ito dito sa atin that aside from the budget allocated by the local government or even the national government, for example, they have also received contributions from private people. Donations, for example, uh, solicits, sponsorship. So, yun yung mga example ng mga other sources of income ng mga DMOs. Which is very good because if it's really utilized well, yung mga budget, if it's not affected by corruption, the the goals and objective of this marketing approach and the tourism plans, the plans that the government have to maintain and sustain a specific destination, mas magiging maganda. The improvement will be really fast. Hindi na siya aabutin ng years. Because the funds are really going to where it's supposed to be. Hindi siya napupunta sa mga selfish na tao because they are allocated fairly. So what we have here naman is the members only trade associations. So it says here that in some cases, particularly with very small destinations, governments may not have assigned formal responsibility for destination marketing to any one entity. Often in those cases, some coalition of commercial enterprises, typically in the form of a trade association, may take on the destination marketing role. For example, you are living in a subdivision, but it's far from the city, or it's far from the for example, it's far from the provincial government office, and you want to market a specific place in your area. For example, you want to market a Mangyan tribe, for example. It's just an example, a Mangyan tribe, their culture, their way of living, their nature, their yung traditional nilang pamumuhay. You want to market that. It's not just for marketing purposes, but also to help also those tribes na mabuhay in the long run, because as you all know, their income is very limited. They just bring their crops, their products from the mountains to the lowlands to sell it for their everyday consumption. Like for example ay yung pagkain lang nila sa araw na yun, because they more rely on their crops, yung mga tinatanim nila uphill. For example, you are living in a subdivision which is near to that area, and you want to market them. This is just one of the example of members only trade association. You can talk to your mga kapitbahay or the members of the village to have to fund the marketing approach that you want to initiate. So sometimes yung ganito daw organization are not really funded by the government. Since small area lang naman yung imo-market mo, you can have at least support, you can have at least gain support from your co-villagers, for example. Because this small type of organization is not really funded by the government. So we have here the strategic roles and responsibilities of DMOs in destination marketing. First role of DMOs, acting as organizers and facilitators for tourism marketing and development in the destination. DMOs need to be more sensitive to the future needs of the marketplace, especially in the context of ongoing political and economic change of the macro tourism environment. DMOs need to reflect the expectations of all groups within the destination by developing, managing, and promoting the destination in a manner that is sensitive to the needs of quite often desperate tourism stakeholders. So, as you can see guys, ito yung roles ng DMOs. We are all here not familiar with DMOs. We are familiar with the organization that we have already here in the province, for example, or in your municipality, that there's a specific organization which holds or which do the marketing approach, the marketing plan, the marketing management of your destination. But we don't know that this DMO is really existing. Na yun pala ang tawag sa kanila, DMOs. So don't forget, DMOs, these are their roles. It's very complex, very broad, and they have their underlying responsibilities in their job. So another role of DMOs, destination marketer, destination image developer, destination promotion coordinator and advocate, supporter and facilitator of tourism projects in the local community. The main mandate of DMOs is to promote visitation in their destination areas. So that's their utmost responsibility to attract tourists. Because what they want is for the destination to be known. Nandiyan na si Boracay. Nandiyan na si Palawan. But can you notice, guys, Puerto Galera, even though it's famous, but tourist arrival in Puerto Galera is not that high compared to those mentioned. Boracay, Palawan, Bohol. Why? Sometimes tourists consider the location. They know that Mindoro, although walang bagyo, but we are really suffering from change of weather conditions. Umulan, magkaroon lang ng thunderstorm or anything, we are like in a storm. Bagyo na. They really are considering yung location ng isang specific place and also yung community. In Puerto Galera, we can say that if have you gone to Puerto Galera, it's really a developed island, right? And especially if they say Oriental Mindoro, they would just remember that it's Puerto Galera. But still, it needs more push from the local government. The visitation level in Puerto Galera. So 6 areas as the main function of a DMO listed by Gartrell, 1993. So here, to develop an image, to position the city in the marketplace, to coordinate the constituent elements of the industry, to work with meeting and group planners, to represent both buyers and sellers, to provide information and respond to visitor inquiries, to provide leadership for the industry. So these are the main functions of DMOs according to Gartrell. So it's just the same with the roles of DMOs mentioned earlier. It's just that it's more on pagbubuo ng image ng isang area through the help of destination marketers. So they have to make an image brand. Yung makita pa lang nila yung logo na yun or slogan na yun, oh, that's in Oriental Mindoro. Without even reading the another information, with further description of the place. Just by seeing the logo or the destination brand, they know it's from Oriental Mindoro. So that's the goal of destination marketers, to provide a very clear image in the eye of the tourist. Yung matatandaan talaga nila. So we have here an in-depth role of the DMO in destination marketing. So, mas pinaikli siya. Destination marketing organization can be the advocate, the organizer, network management organization, catalyst, tourist and product developer, convener and facilitator, community brand builder, funding agent, information provider, partner and team builder. So let's have their corresponding description on the next slides. Now first we have information provider. From the word itself, they provide information, but it's not solely from the first-hand information. It should be this marketer are responsible to do research, identify their target markets, meet visitors' expectations, and share the information with the local constituents. They should be an information source. So if may mga tourists or may mga business investors na gustong mag-invest to the destination, they should be the one na humaharap or sila yung mga pwedeng puntahan because they know most of the information pertaining to that specific destination. They are community brand builder, responsible for marketing the whole destination as one entity. The biggest thing that DMO does is that it helps us get our message out and brand our area. Okay, so this is very interesting. Community brand builder. Wow. Because the goal of the marketers, of a destination marketer, is not just for the destination itself, but it should be covering the whole nation, the whole area. For example, the Mngt village in Puerto. It's not just in Puerto. Oh, it's not just the barangay na nakakasakop nun. It's Oriental Mindoro. Because one of the faces that visitors remember when they hear Oriental Mindoro are the Mngnts. Because they are the natives here. Before pa yung ibang civilization and the advancement in the modern world now that we have, they are the one who initially lived here and still living here. And the most interesting part of it is that even though modern na yung world, modern na yung paligid nila, they are still applying the traditional way of living. So that's their brand. Yun yung pinakang unique sa kanila. They are living in their own community. People reach out to them to help them. The Ayalas, the Subels, they are the one who built the Mngt village. For what purpose? One is for them to be provided with their own land. Yung wala makakapagpaalis sa kanila. For them to be provided with their own houses. Kasi pinatira sila dun. Binigyan sila ng mga bahay. And also for them to promote their way of living. Their crafts. Their handmade crafts. Because in Mngt village, if you've been there, in Puerto, they have their items, handcrafted items and crafts like mga baskets, mga bag made of their traditional, I don't know what you call that, yung ginagawang basket, I don't know, is that buli? They've been making a lot of that product para ibenta. Because tourists really visit there in that Mngt village. They really visit there. Not just to not just to because kaya naman bumibisita yung iba, they're curious about how they look, how they live, how they speak, out of curiosity. But most of the tourists, they visit there because they want to help. Because they know these people doesn't have uh, the income na sapat para sa, kasi meron din silang mandaming anak, because they are some of them, they don't practice family planning because they really live in their traditional way. So yun yung tinatawag na community brand. They have their own unique brand. Hindi sila nagpapa-apekto sa outside world, sa outside energy. Yung mga taong lumalapit to na, bakit nandito pa kayo? Pwede naman kayo bumaba or ganyan. Hindi sila nagpapa-apekto doon. Because they have their own brand and they have built it already through the help of the people who really want to reach out to them. So we have to also to commend the effort of the Puerto Galera and LGU, because they allowed that kind of move from the Sobel and Ayala family to really touch the life of the Mngt people there. The next role of DMO in destination marketing, they are convener, facilitator, and liaison of community tourism activities. So they are having visible public discussion on significant issues. So these issues sometimes includes data gathering or studies that provide information intended to highlight a common understanding of the issues at hand. So yung mga meetings, mga kunwari, they've been noticing na yung isang specific destination inapapabayaan na. So, destination marketers or the DMO will really stand up and sila yung mag-raise ng issue. And after raising that issue, they would be hearing recommendations, suggestions from the LGU. And also, destinations marketer responsibility is to provide solution. So, yung solution na yun, dun magbe-base si LGU if they're going to approve depending on their budget, under the time allocated, and also with the resources. So next here, catalyst of the collaborative initiative. When an organization is catalytic, it makes an early and clear commitment to participate in longer-term community problem solving that begins with an initial discussion of issues. In this way, it uses its influence and resource base to make the collaborative initiative real in the minds of various other potential partners who may be waiting for leadership. Diba? They should initiate ang mga marketers. LGU, the local government, the politicians, they have their own concerns in their leadership. Minsan, di nila concern ang tourism. Iilang tao lang sa isang LGU ang concern ang tourism. Kaya nag-assign si national government ng mga DMOs or ng mga tourism organization to really look on the approach, the plans, the strategic plans of those organizations to sustain the tourism business. So that's the role of DMO, to initiate problem-solving approach, discussion of the issues which in the latter part would really solve the issues at hand. Now what we have here, next, role of the DMO in destination marketing, advocate of the tourism industry. So they'll put any proposals into action. It conveys the message of the importance of tourism and its impact on the area and on the local economy, as well as the advantages of tourism to the local economy. Develop frameworks and internal processes within which advocacy efforts can emerge with support from as many partners as possible. So, dito tayo papasok. The tourism professionals. DMOs in the national level or in the local level, they are really appreciating the help of the academe, of the education family, who really wants to help, especially in research purposes, in the dissemination of information to the educational institution present in their area. Dito tayo makakatulong. But for now, it's really hard to do because the area is limited, visitation area to the offices are very limited. But we can consider that our fresh minds, our fresh approach, yung mga natututunan natin here in the classroom scene, we can really put it to help LGUs, specific destination in your area. Because we are all advocates of the tourism industry. Okay, we have all the information, what is really happening with the industry that we are in, which is tourism. So, what are we going to do with all that knowledge? It requires application. Okay? Your application may not be now because we are all still learning, you are still students, but in the near future, if you will be able to really have the grasp on hand of the tourism industry, or for example, for anyone here who's working already in tourism industry while having your online classes, it's a very big contribution for you if you will at least make suggestions, raise your concerns regarding a specific destination which needs marketing. Okay, what we have here, the role of the DMO in the destination marketing is an organizer of destination marketing campaigns. So, diba? They are the organizer. Remember what happened to Boracay, the rehabilitation project? The national government stepped in. Okay, nakialam na sila. Kasi hindi na kaya ng local, ng LGU. So what government did? They closed the island. The rehabilitation took like 8 months, 6 to 8 months. That campaign was supported by the national government. And it's not just supported but mandated by the national government. And their primary interest is to save the island. Because if you hear Philippines, like for example, you are a tourist and you hear Philippines, what you have in mind is not Duterte. Or sometimes you can have Duterte in your mind. But what they have in their minds is Boracay. Boracay is like the flagship logo of the Philippines, especially in the tourism world abroad. Next role of the DMO in DM or in destination marketing, they are funding agent for collective marketing activities. Okay. Funding. It encourages a variety of collaborative marketing activities by providing, supporting, and matching funds. Okay. Especially for marketing and promoting the local destination collectively at a larger scale, either alone or with other funding sources. For example, festivals in Baguio or their destination itself. They are really doing their very effective approach in promoting their destination. Even though here we can say that Baguio is already famous, but still they are still having their approach viable, and it's real visible na effective talaga yung marketing nila. Their festival, kung hindi lang pandemic, ang daming visitor sana nung festival nila, and also in Cebu na dinadayo ng mga tourist. The the cold weather in Baguio is a plus, but still, yung kasing kanilang area is well developed. And yung policy, yun yung hinahangaan ng iba't ibang LGU. Even in the COVID response, right? In the COVID response, Baguio is like the model city. Okay, the next, partner and team builder. Empowering partners share risks, responsibilities, resources, and rewards. And also, they take the time to understand each other's motivations and expectations. So, this focused more on the tourist side and the community side, okay? So, the community should be the one benefiting from the advantages brought by tourism. Community only. Community first. Not the LGU. Community. Because they are the one living there. Kapag nagalit yung mga yan, the tourists will not go there. Magsasama sila ng pakikisama sa mga tourists. Yung trato nila sa mga tourists would not really be as high quality as they supposed to be. Kung gusto nilang hindi pumunta ang mga tourist, they can do it. Magtapon lang sila ng kung ano-anong gamit dyan. Matatakot ang mga tourist. So, the first priority of a specific destination marketing approach or marketing management is the community. Community should be benefiting from it before the LGU. And how can they benefit from it? They can have jobs because of the tourism activities. And also, additional knowledge for them. They will know how to keep the destination alive. Next that we have here, network management organization. It was widely agreed among the interviewees that marketing networks in which individual businesses that consciously collaborate and cooperate with one another are more effective at providing a complex array of community-based services than the same organizations are able to do when they go their own ways. Such marketing networks are vehicles that provide value to the local community in ways that could not have been achieved through the uncoordinated provision of services by fragmented and autonomous businesses. Okay, so the concern here are the tourism businesses. Even though they are solely business or they are independent business, but through destination marketing and management organizations or the DMOs, nagko-connect sila. They collaborate, they cooperate. Kung pag sinabi kunyari DOT, sinabi na ganito ang tagline ng DOT, mabuhay. Okay? Ganito ang sasabihin ng staff, mabuhay. Through welcoming the guest. Yun ang susundin ng lahat ng organization. Because the policy is very clear that it should be applied by all. They collaborate. They cooperate with each another. And what happened kung mawawala yung collaboration and cooperation? They would go their own ways. Kung gusto magtaas ng price ng isa, magtataas siya ng price. Kung gusto niyang mag-provide ng ganitong klaseng service without consulting DOT, they can. Or kung gusto niyang mag-market ng kanyang area, pero maaapektuhan yung isang area, they can. Kasi walang collaboration. Yung networks niya, meaning yung connection niya, is very limited. Nakafocus lang siya sa kanyang sariling business. But if they are collaborated and cooperated with one another, more effective yung kanilang magiging uh, community-based services. Mas makikinabang ang lahat. So what we have here, future directions of DMOs and destination marketing management. Okay. So important action agendas for DMOs in order for them to claim leadership and relevance. So sometimes, itong mga DMOs, they are disregarded in the community. Kagaya ng sinabi natin kanina. Sometimes LGU, they don't appreciate. And they don't know the importance. Or sometimes they know the importance of marketing or promoting a certain destination, the management of that destination. Kasi what we are talking here is not just the promotion or the marketing of that specific destination, but its management also. Paano ba siya masusustain? Paano ba siya maaalagaan? Paano ba mapapanatili yung ganda nun destination na yun? Most of the time, LGU don't believe na kailangan gawin yun. For them, it's just a waste of time, waste of money, waste of budget. And they would also ask you, nakakain ba yan? Because what's their concern is their primary necessity, especially for LGU na walang masyadong budget. So they're close-minded with such kaartehan. Ang main concern nila, how they feed their people, paano makakapaghanap buhay. They are not really concerned with tourism businesses, lalo yung mga malalayong area, especially yung mga areang hindi masyadong nararating. If the approach that you have going there is not that nice, or hindi siya masyadong desirable, what they will do? Paalisin ka lang nila sa lugar nila. So this important action agendas for DMOs is for them to claim leadership and relevance. Para kahit papaano, they can claim that they are really important in the system. That yung space nila sa isang organization is of importance. May importansya sila. First, building identity. This is an ongoing effort to build a brand identity for the DMO itself, separate from but related to the brand identity and of the destination. Building identity, that one. And building coalition. This is a systematic and continuous process of building connections. So, connections very important. For example, ikaw hindi ka sinusuportahan ng national government or hindi ka sinusuportahan ng local government or ng regional government. So, what will you do? Kung gusto mo talaga matuloy yung approach na gusto mo, you can go to other community. Pwede kang lumapit sa ibang community leaders, industry partners, mga stakeholders to support what you are going to launch. Okay, it involves establishing strong, trust-based connections to every key stakeholder, industry partner, and advocacy group within the destination community. Important action agendas for DMOs in order for them to claim leadership and relevance, building commitment. Sometimes, yung ibang DMOs, yung ibang organization, sa una lang sila porsigido. But if they saw na hindi sila masyadong sinusuportahan, nawawala na rin yung drive nila. Nawawala na rin yung motivation nila to pursue. So, hindi dapat ganun. Because for you to be able to get support from the government, you should build commitment. Kung gusto mo talagang i-push through yung isang specific project, continue. Huwag kang titigil. Okay? This is a continuous, never-ending practice of teaching, preaching, promoting, and modeling a visitor-centered doctrine to all stakeholders in the destination community. It includes defining service standards for all providers associated with the destination, as well as monitoring and reporting performance against these standards, profiling the destination's appeal against primary visitor motivations. Okay, so what we have here, another action agenda for DMO, building vision and leadership. Okay, practice of spotting critical issues and policy questions relating to the development of the destination, leading the strategic conversation within the community around these key issues and questions. Okay, the most important here are the DMO's knowledge, know-how, and ideas valuable to them, delivering an annual state of destination report to the community leaders that presents the competitive standing of the destination and recommends areas of opportunity or improvement. Okay, because DMOs already built the commitment in really providing or coming up with a destination marketing approach and management. So what they will do, they have to monitor because it says that it's a continuous process. For example, na-approve yung iyong idea, na-approve ni LGU, pinondohan nila, for example. What are you going to do as a member of DMO or a team member of DMO? You will monitor. You will monitor the effectivity of your approach or your strategic plan. If you don't monitor, hindi ka na ulit pagagawin ng ganyang uh, approach kasi you have done something in the first place pero hindi mo naman tinutukan. Wala kaming nakitang relevance niyan. Hindi namin nakita na okay pala yung approach mo because hindi ka nagtuon ng oras para i-monitor yung effectivity. So, how would be the process? Siyempre, magpre-report ka ng papers, documents, this has been done, this is the effect, this should not be done, this will be done, like that, recommendations. And also, citing the areas which needs improvement. Because tutok ka dun to monitor the effectivity of that plan, the management plan that you had. So it's for you also to say if it's effective or not. If it's not effective, be honest. If it's effective, then good. You can cite more recommendations. And if it's not effective, at least put the areas for improvement, maybe on your side, on how you write your approach, or how you plan the management of the destination, like that. So it should always be the DMO's initiative to monitor the effectivity of your plan. Okay, so it's a strategic map of destination marketing and DMO. Okay, so visitor-centered destination marketing and management, building coalition, building commitment, building vision, and building identity. So, ano ba ang relation nila sa isa't isa? This is your activity, okay? I will just put it in a Google form, okay? Thank you. Okay, guys, so we're done with the first chapter of destination marketing and management. So I hope you learned a lot with this lesson, and I hope you can apply it through our succeeding lessons, because our lesson goals and your requirement is for you to really have the knowledge to be one of the DMO team of your area. Okay, so I will just post the activity in the Google form, and if you have questions, please don't hesitate to message me or comment to the post itself in G-Class. And also, if you have clarifications, if I have missed the topic, or if I have missed explaining one of the topic, please raise your concern And also, please do your part to be an effective online learner. Okay, guys? Thank you so much.